Recognized for 5 minutes.
Thank you, Madam Chair, and thank you, Mr. Secretary, for your great service and your testimony this morning. One of the many strengths that I think you've brought to this office is that for the first time in history, you serve as Secretary of Education as a graduate of a career in technical education high school, Wilcox Tech, where my good friend and colleague, Congresswoman Hayes, represents the city of Meriden. But we really are at a moment right now in our economy where career and technical education schools shine. We have a 3.4% unemployment rate, 9.6 million job openings in the U.S. economy, and the mission and the curriculum of career and technical education is perfectly positioned to help close the skills gap to fill many of those positions. I had an opportunity to witness that a couple weeks ago at a National Signing Day ceremony at Norwich Tech High School in my district, where half the graduating class of Norwich Tech signed letters of intent with their parents, their teacher, and their new employer sitting right beside me. It was like NFL draft day with a packed auditorium cheering these kids on, signing up to be electricians, painters. A large portion of those were I think, as you know, signing letters of intent to go work at Electric Boat Shipyard, which this year has a hiring target of 5,750 people between Quonset Point, Rhode Island, and Groton, Connecticut, to fill the bill of Congress's increased demand for submarine production. Again, you mentioned in your testimony that one of the workhorses of career and technical education, which is the federal Perkins Grant Program, received a $43 million increase in your budget, bringing it to a total of $1.5 billion, a historic level of federal investment in career and technical education. But as I heard that day in Norwich, they are turning away hundreds of kids who would love to take advantage of the benefit of career and technical education. And that's where your other initiative, the Career Connected High School program, which you mentioned, would, again, expand that curriculum out to comprehensive high school, something which you and I discussed during a visit there. Can you talk again about, this really, I think, surgical focus in terms of trying to address opportunities in our economy right now that young people could really benefit from?
Thank you for that question. And I really feel strongly that this is an issue where we can come together in bipartisan fashion and really transform the opportunities that our students have. I think it's critical that we move to evolve our education system to be more responsive to the options that students are going to have when they graduate. And I think it's time as a country that we come together to challenge the four-year college or bust mentality that still exists in many places. I was a technical high school graduate with options. I chose a four-year college. We need to provide more students across this country with options to join workforce or to start with the workforce and then go to four-year college, oftentimes paid for by the employer, right? So it's about providing options. I joke that my personal plumber is doing really well. He happens to be in Aruba today while I'm here testifying. But there are options for our students. The Career Connected High School is making sure that the technical career pathways that are available to students that, as you said, will lead to jobs are not available only to students in technical high schools. We need to make sure that our comprehensive high schools provide access to career and college counseling and pathways. I've seen amazing examples in my visits across the country of schools that are preparing students for four-year colleges, but are also preparing students for options that exist upon graduation or upon graduation of a two-year school. I've seen comprehensive high schools engage in advisory boards with industry partners so that their curriculum could be lined up to what the needs are in the field. We want to promote that. We want to make that the norm, not the exception. Right now, it seems like technical high schools and very niche high schools are doing this. All students across the country deserve this opportunity. And as I said before, I feel like this is something that if we put our heads together in a bipartisan fashion, we can really transform education.
Thank you. And again, my remaining seconds, I think it's important to note that the McCarthy debt limit bill, which would put an indiscriminate chainsaw into Perkins grants and career-connected high schools, is exactly what our employers across the country do not want. They want to connect people with the right skills to give them jobs, careers that will support themselves and their family. I yield back.
Thank you.